Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. This is Mohammad Shakil Ahmed from Bangladesh. So today I would like to talk about myself as a caregiver and the caregivers whom I am representing and the caregivers whom I don't know from different regions. So, as you know, children are great imitators, so give them something great to imitate. So, it's like my favorite quotation. It is like a quotation, but it has a great meaning because if you give a good environment to a child, then eventually he'll be a good human being. He would be good, social activist. He will be good to the society and his country. So, as you know, as the story of caregivers, as I was talking with Sachin Kumar, he told me that one of he knows that he become graduated from law and he even studied in abroad. Even he's fully blinded people with disability. So actually, it inspired us. But what happens to the others? Even they have this kind of capabilities, they can do it because they are not motivated by their families, they are not motivated by the society. So that's why even they have the great potential, they can't use it for them as well as the society. And here you can see some challenges faced by caregivers, especially in the kinship care. Obviously, if I focus on this part, you will find out later that these things are very much common among all types of caregivers, even who lives in institutions, even who lives in extended family, as we know the kinship care. And as you know, the main problem is that we have seen that many child with disabilities or without disabilities, they stay with their grandparents. So they most of the time they have no income. They have hard time to keep up with the family members, and even they have hard time to support them. And you know about medical cost. Sometimes they have to support their grandchild. That's why even they will have to face death. They will don't will not hesitate to go into depth. And sometimes it's hurtful to send their grandchild to work somewhere else, but they have no choice. That's why you know they they do it without any um, and here are some problems. So I want to talk about focus on only the social stigma and exclusion. There's one thing that when you are caregiver and you are living with your in the kinship care, that's mean there's a one layer of problem. You don't most of the time you don't get recognitions from the society, from others. And when you have like disability, some sort of disabilities, then it's add another layer, so which you are facing double layers. So can you imagine, as a caregiver you are having so much problems, but when you have disability, it becomes so much problem for you that sometimes you feel so much depression that you don't want to be alive, you don't want to do anything. So that's why. And and we came here not to focus on us, because we are, most of us are having a good career, most of us good time, but we are here to provide that every child has should have a loving family. So thank you. I want to call Moshumi to present.
Thank you, Shakil. Good morning, everyone. So, can we go the next slide? So, okay. So here you can see we want to talk about the inclusion and empowerment thought, representations and acceptance. Inclusion begins when caregivers are not invited to speak, but trust to lead. So before I read this slide, I want to say that inclusion has made a big difference in our lives when caregivers are accepted and represented. We don't just share our stories, we help shape the system. And this is slide talk about the system, the journey of empowerment and growing. Caregivers are now being included and represented in national and international consultations, conference, and discussion on aftercare, disability inclusion, led by CAFT project and also CSM. This inclusion has built confidence, visibility, and leadership among caregivers who are in earlier left unheard. Inclusion and empowerment through represented and acceptance. And the last line was from my heart. This is clearly shows that inclusion is not just about the giving space, but about sharing power and trust. When caregivers are truly included, they bringing strong ideas, leadership, and change to the STEM. Thank you.
Okay. Very rightly said, Moshmi. Thank you so much. Truly said that from a care leaver to a care leader, their voices are now helping improve the programs and policies for all the young people who are leaving care. Next slide, please. Okay. So the biggest move in India happened when Udayan Care launched the India's first aftercare study beyond 18 in collaboration with Tata Trust and UNICEF. This truly shifts the national conversation from seeing care as something that ends at 18 to recognizing that care people need continued support as they transition into adulthood. It was a turning point that brought the idea of aftercare into the mainstream. Building on that momentum, the Ministry of Women and Child Development has now directed the district child protection units to register care leavers on the Mission Vatsalya portal. This ensures that every care person leaving care is tracked, supported, and not lost in the system. States have also begun to take ownership of drafting its respective aftercare guidelines and weaving them into long-term action plans, especially to strengthen family-based alternative care. For instance, early this year, the Rajasthan High Court issued a landmark objectives mandating financial aid, housing, mental health services, legal identities, and skill-based training to the care leavers, with nodal officers appointed in every district to monitor aftercare and report this quarterly to the state's Child Welfare Committee members. Under this Samarth Yojana, the state also provides 5,000 a month to care leavers who are up to the age of 25, along with vocational training, support, and personalized aftercare plans. Other states are following the same suit. Madhya Pradesh, with its Bal Ashirwad Yojana, offering skill-based scholarship, supported housing, and health coverage, and Orissa is no less, which extended the Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana and launched the Green Patch scheme for higher education support to the care leavers. Amid all this policy reform, CLAN has been empowering the real stories behind these systems. Through our Beyond Care Conversation podcast series, India's first ever podcast, led and produced by care leavers, we have made aftercare conversation public, visible, and relatable. Each episode highlights authentic voices of the care leavers across states, sharing how policies play out in real life and what true support looks like. So what just began as the India's first aftercare study beyond 18 has now grown into a collective national movement where the government system, civil society officers, and care leavers themselves shaping the future of aftercare in India. Over the past few years, we have seen care leavers network across India grow into stronger, more connected, and more visible individuals as together. Networks like CLAN, CLICK, ACLA, and other regional collectives are not just providing support, but they are building a movement of solidarity, belonging, and leadership among care experienced youth. At CLAN, we've been working very closely with universities, employers, and civil society partners to create opportunities for care leavers for higher education and skill development to building paths for their independent transition. Moreover, we work with government bodies to advocate for stronger aftercare and youth-focused reforms. One of the most powerful initiatives we have is BATAK, a circle of sharing and reflection. These are safe, in-person gatherings where care leavers from different childcare institutions come together for workshops, skill sessions, and open conversations. It feels like a full family circle, a space to heal, grow, build communities. What makes it even more special is that these BATAKs are co-created by care leavers themselves. And the insights from these BATAK gatherings often guide clans to build their future programs and advocacy work. Other networks are doing incredible work as well. CLICK has recently launched an emergency fund and built partnership with Nudge Incubation Program, Goonj Band, while ACLA has collaborated with state child protection committees to provide vocational and skill trainings. These efforts are transforming care leavers into confidence leaders and change makers. I also want to highlight that Gujarat Care Leavers Network is doing something very similar, where they are conducting monthly household gathering, which feels like a real family get-together with shared meal, cultural celebration, and deep emotional connections. These spaces are helping care leavers heal, bond, and even support each other through important life milestones like marriages. And what truly inspiring is how these care leavers come together in times of crisis. During the Gujarat flood, the care leavers joined hands with NGOs to support each other and the local communities, showing what true solidarity looks like. Together, these networks are proving that when care leavers unite, they not just survive, they lead, inspire, and create lasting change. As Robert Frost said, miles to go before we sleep. Every care leaver knows that there is so much to do more, many changes to make, and many voices to be heard. Our journey is not just over, and together we are moving forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Moshmi and Pooja. Very. Okay. Thank you, Pooja and Moshmi, for bringing the good practices that is happening in India. And yes, it feels so empowered and it feels supportive that there is a community, civil society and NGOs who are now understanding, accepting us and including. So we can see what Pooja and Moshmi share as good practices from India that we have been included. So one of the other good practices that we have seen in last 10 years is collaboration and the support program that is coming to support caregivers to become leaders and build their resiliency and not only just survive but also thrive in their lives. So these collaboration led to the creation of aftercare programs offering guidance, fellowship. Yesterday, I mentioned that I was also the part of fellowship where our leadership was developed so we can go on ground and lead some of the activities and understand caregivers. And there are other programs also like job readiness, employment related to life skilling that not only CSOs, NGOs are leading, but also now care leaders are emerging and they are leading, having their own organization and informal groups. So we have written two example also that Maharashtra is one of our countries, state. They have come with in collaboration with NGOs and have rented a house like a PG and they have paid care leavers to have that rented house so they can focus on their education and employment and till the time they are not having their stable employment and they are not completing their education. Other than that, in other state we have like Karnataka expanded independent living facilities. Like we have mentioned some name of the NGOs also like Wheelie Foundation and the other CSOs. Caregivers are, so this has led to that caregivers are becoming job ready, independent and connected to the support system rather than being left alone after leaving the care. So these were the some of the good practices that we can see. Now I will just shortly also talk about some of the gaps that we see. So let's understand these gaps, like policy-wise, implementation, advocacy, training-wise. So at policy level, we see that there is no national level aftercare guidelines. So let me explain this with example. A girl from another state is given a support, aftercare support for 3 years, and she is focusing on her study. Now there is a boy from other state. He also wants the same support, but there is a guideline, but he is not given that support. But if there would have been a national level guidelines that would have directed or guided all the state to have a standard or uniform procedure and to follow, and they have monitored it. So that's why it's become very important that we are having at national level to ensure at state level and regional level and local level. Coming to implementation and coordination challenges, now in India, through NGOs and care leaders, we were able to have some of the schemes like Mission Vasalya that says that children when they are turning 18 and if they need financial support, that should be given to them. But there is also a gap. It is on the paper and it took times. It was, a scheme came in 2022 and now it is 2025 and still we see gap in the implementation that in some of the state that is into practice but some of the state don't have even started yet. So at implementation level also, we see gap is there. Now coming to advocacy and public awareness deficiency. Yesterday, when there was a panel on the global challenges where one of the speaker, Lopa ma'am, mentioned that short cutting down of the funding, right? So there it's become very important that because we are not able to reach out so many philanthropists and the CSR and CSOs who could support us because of we are not having the public awareness and there is a gap at the advocacy level also. So that's why we are not able to reach out to the right people who willing to support. Next is training and capacity needs. So for this, I want to just explain with the example. So in 2023, a Caliver spoke at a National Child Rights event. Their stories touch everyone. Their recommendation never became part of next year program plan. Why? Because there was a gap of how to implement that recommendation. So their trainings becomes very important. And we see a gap of that in the training that there is no curriculum. If we talk about at national level, if there would have been a curriculum at national level, it would have directed all the social worker, also the care leaders who lack some of the skills to see. We all are having so many great ideas, but when we are not having the right approach to do that, where it becomes very important. So that's why ensuring timely training to build their capacity and doing the follow-up becomes very important. Because next year also, one Caliver reached out saying that my social worker understands me and emotionally supports. But when I was moving out, I had no one to rely on. And my social worker were not aware that there are so many schemes, not only for Caliver, but for other communities also. So how link with that schemes and connect with that scheme so they can have a support on subsidies rate. Next is limitation in research and data system. So like many NGOs, they are doing research with the help of our, some of the impact stories, but they are relying on a few of the that NGOs are doing through their program model and relying on the very small data. So if there would have been like database uniform standard format to maintain the database, they would have been able to capture the needs and accordingly they would have been come with a program. Data system, as we say, there is no standard format to maintain a database at national level, so this is also one of the gap. Now, program coverage and support in advocacy. Here, program coverage means there are so many programs are coming, but when it is about the sustaining the program to support, there it is becoming very difficult to sustain because not having the adequate supports. Secondly, when there is a support, some of the support programs are for short term, and in short term, if we really want to see the impact and change in the lives of caregivers or children supporting, so there it is again we feel that support program should be long term so we see the real change. So these are the some gaps. Now I would like to hand over to Malaysia.
Good
Good morning, everyone. I was told to keep my talk short and simple. So if I faint halfway, that is just me sticking to the plan. Okay? Okay, so I am representing Malaysia today. Just want to share a little bit of good practices and what are the challenges that us caregivers in Malaysia are facing. I think when I saw the presentation by caregivers from other groups, we all share the same challenges. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with the good practices. I mean, this is the latest initiative suggested or introduced by our government, where they want, in 2026, free varsity education for about 5,800 low-income students for their PTPT. And if they perform well, then this loan will become scholarship. So children living in institution, this is an added advantage. It means you can study whatever course that you want. You perform well, then it becomes a scholarship. So I applaud the government for initiating this in their budget for next year. This is me keeping short, so the slide is going to go very fast. Is it this or I'm going to faint? Okay, good practices. Now, existing pilot initiative projects being done by this country. We got transit homes, transitional shelter for orphan age out, but the issue here is not nationwide. It's being done by certain organization, but it's not nationwide like in Sabah or Sarawak or in Johor, probably in Selangor. The Ministry of Women and Family Community Development has piloted a transit home for orphans who reach 18, giving them temporary accommodation, about 6 to 1 year while they complete their studies and seek employment. This is one of the initiatives done by the government. Again, not in a larger scale. And these are some of the moving towards national implementation of family-based care system in Malaysia. True, we have heard this word many, many times, de-institutionalization of children. I think this is done by the Yayasan Hasana, but unfortunately, I think in nationwide, we are here today striving for this. Okay, so now the interesting part, the challenges. So what are the challenges that we face? Social, economic, and financial challenges. Lack of financial stability and saving upon leaving care. Difficult in finding stable employment due to limited job skills and qualification, and no access to financial guidance or budgeting knowledge. Because children live in an institution is being taken care by adults, and now you are the adults. So, I mean, if children living with their families, the parents take over. I mean, even if you go to universities or you went on to live your life, still you have your parents or your next of kin. But children living in institution, you're on your own. If you have a guardian or a mentor, that's a plus point. But unfortunately, many of us don't. So what are the next challenges? Education and career barriers. Lower academic achievement. Limited access to tertiary education and vocational training. This is a bit controversial because children living in institution, not everyone are not academically bright. Like some of them are very skillful, some of them are academically bright. So what happens after that? But what I knew is whether you are academically bright or not, you'll ended up in a vocational school. You probably do not go on to enter into tertiary education. So this is very, very unfair. So what can we do to help all these children? Lack of mentorship and career guidance. Not all of them are blessed to have a mentor to guide them, to journey with them until they become stable. Difficulty competing with peers who have family support. Because children living with their family, they always have someone to rely on as compared to those who are from the institution. They don't have someone to fall upon or to seek advice or to something as basic as even to seek counseling. You are on your own. This is reality. This is what I'm facing. Housing and shelter issues. Sudden loss of accommodation after aging out of the institution. Imagine your whole life, you have a shelter and suddenly 18, you are out there. So what happened next? Risk of homelessness or unstable living arrangement, inadequate transitional housing or aftercare program. Like I said, it's not a nationwide. Yes, there are some organizations are starting shelter homes or transition home, but it's not in a larger scale. Mental health and emotional well-being. This is the the next topic that I'll be speaking about later on, the feeling of loneliness, abandonment, and rejection, difficulty coping up with independence and responsibility, unresolved trauma from past abuse and neglect, limited access to mental health services and counseling. So after 18, how are we going to seek for all this? Because being an institution itself, not every children was given the counseling that they need, only so-called troubled children. And I just want to emphasize more on this. Being an institution itself is something abnormal. Because one moment you are with your family and next thing you are in an institution. So that is very abnormal. So the transition is abnormal. So are they given counseling? So if I would want to ask questions, caretakers or social workers, are all children in an institution receiving the counseling that they need, or just troubled children? That we used to label them troubled. Social relationship difficulties, lack of family or emotional support network. That is why we are here today. We want to reunite children who are living in an institution to their next of kin or family, because we don't want this, we want to resolve these challenges. Difficulty forming healthy relationship and trust. Well, I could relate to this. Whether relationship with your siblings, relationship with your mother, with your father, if you do not introduce the family very early in their lives, this bond is going to be very difficult to form. Yes, in my case, yes, I know she's my mother. Yes, I know this is my elder sister, this is my younger sister, but we don't have the bond. I know it's the relationship, but we don't have the bond. Like many of you who live with your siblings, I'm sure even now your last WhatsApp message should be from your siblings, but not us. Social stigma and discrimination as former institutional residents. Yes, some of them even face it while they're in high school. Because once after holiday they'll come back, those living with their family would say, oh, I went to Pangkor, I went to Langkawi, I went to Thailand, and then there we are studying in the institution. We don't have stories to share. So this is one of the social stigma that even children living in institution face. And number 6, life skills and independence. So limited experience in daily living skills. Okay, I have shared this before. Something as basic, I know it might seem basic, but this is vital. Cooking, paying bills, managing documents. Let's face it, those who live with your family, your mom and dad does that for you. You probably, even at the age of 30, you don't even know that how to pay bills because your mom and dad take care of that, but not us. At such a young age, we need to figure all this thing out. It might seem something very basic, like, oh, is this cooking? But we can't afford to have takeout every day. Where are we going to get the money from? Difficulty navigating adult system like banking, healthcare, legal services. Sometimes I wonder why they taught us algebra in school. You should be teaching us all to do accounting and all. I'm 34, I'm yet to use algebra, They should be teaching us this in our school so that we can be strong, independent adults that we are. Overwhelmed by sudden independence without the guidance. I tell this to everyone. Our whole life in an institution has been like a timetable. 8 o'clock you do this, 9 o'clock you do this, then you do this, then you do this. At the age of 18, we give you the keys to the city. And suddenly you get to decide. You can have cereals for dinner. I had cereals for dinner. I don't have auntie telling me you can't have cereals for dinner. But this is very risky because it can go either way. Either it goes in a proper channel or you stray. So who's going to guide you? What happened next? So I guess I didn't faint. I successfully completed. Now I would like to invite Nepal to take over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, for your insightful and meaningful presentation to the audience. Namaste and good morning, all of you present here. It's me, Birendra Sai, and today I am here to present the present and share you the progress of Nepal government that has made. Next slide, please. This development reflect the government growing commitment to strengthen the child protection systems, promoting family-based care, and ensuring the voice of care experienced youth that need to be heard and included. The first things is it took a time, but Nepal government has in the final phase of developing the integrated guidelines on alternative care. For us, it means a clear roadmap, a set of values for how children should be cared for when they can't live with their families. It is not just about where we live, but it shows how we are treated. In recent years, Nepal has made magnificent progress in enhancing legal and policy framework for child protection. The government has recognized the importance of family-based care over institutional care. Like you all heard from yesterday's presentation, Rija's sisters and Raju's brother, foster care and family strengthening program. One of the local government has already enrolled local guide on foster care targeted for social worker, foster carer, and the local government itself. Child right experts, practitioners, developing partners, and civil society are coming together to make this happen, giving special focus on kinship care and foster care. The second one, the number of childcare homes and the number of children living in institutional care have gone down. That big news for us, especially people like me. Since the last BICON, Nepal government monitored the institutional care and 22 institutions were closed down. Over 300 children were reunited back to their families and communities. These are not just a number, but it represents a life of care experienced our children. As I am saying this, I am remembering every life in institutional. The 24, and I'm waiting for the report 2025, which will be published on Children's Day. And in 2024 report shows that in Nepal there are currently 396 institutions where 10,882 children are still in care. The third one, the most inspiring shift has been acknowledged and inclusion of care experienced youth at different level of government decision-making level. Through continuous advocacy and evidence-based lobbying, the voice of care experienced individuals are finally begun recognized, respected at different level of government. I thought it would take time, but Nepal government is listening. They are including us in engaging in different development of child protection guidelines with policies. They are including for sharing our stories and needs. They are co-creating programs with us to ensure our voice are included. This year we contributed to a national curriculum designed for care work, social worker, and child counselor as stated in our Child Act 2018. This partnership between the government and networks is building trust, awareness, and shared accountability, some things we deeply appreciate and hope to see expand in the upcoming year and ahead. Thanks to ongoing advocacy and awareness campaign led by child right organization in alternative working groups and networks. There is now broader understanding both within the government and among service provider about the harms and long-term consequences of unnecessary family separation. We are shifting to institutional to family, from institution to family. With a strong emphasis of family reunification, many care providers are now working closely with local authorities to reunite children into biological or extended family wherever it is possible. This shifted represents a meaningful step towards realizing the vision of UN guidelines for the alternative cares of children, ensuring the every child grow up in a nurturing family environment, not in an institution. These positive changes remind us the progress is possible when we come together. However, we also realize that our journey is not yet complete. Aftercare service must be strengthened, mental health support should be expanded, poverty or crisis must be a factor to separate children from family. As a care experienced person myself, I believe that we listen to lived experience. We not only build better system, but also build a more compassionate and accountable society. Thank you.
Thank you, Virendra Dai, for that powerful reflection. Hello and good morning to everyone. Me, Burma Magar, and I'm honored to continue this conversation not just as a care experience, as a person who lived with experience are not. I'm sorry. I am honored to continue these conversations not just as a care experienced youth, but also as someone who believes that our lived experience are not limitations, but a power of inclusions, evidence, and actions. I'm also speaking as a part of growing movement in Nepal that is acknowledging youth, leadership, and inclusion. In Nepal, we have begun something transformative. Care experienced children and young peoples are no longer just a subject of sympathy. We are leading to... No. Sorry. We are leading to shape our policy. When we talked about the inclusions, we must also talk about the systems that often fail to recognize our potential, our dignity, and our rights. This is why the formation of National Care Labor Network in Nepal has been one of the most proudest milestones. National Alternative Care Youth Society is not just a national network for us. It is a community, a space where young people with a lived experience from diverse background, rural and urban, with and without disability, comes together to share, lead, and advocate. Yet, we still believe that we must go further that include gender-friendly space, trauma-informed support, as well as sign language interpretation. We want that our story must not heard but act upon. Through partnership with the civil society and private sector, we are pushing for inclusion, employment opportunity to care labor. One of the well-known corporate house in Kathmandu, Nepal has officially signed partnership to hire a care experienced young people as a part-time employee in their business outlist. This is the biggest achievement for us because we know that economic independence is key to long-term reintegration. Together, we have built bridges with the child protection agencies, disability rights group, youth-led organizations, and local government. This partnership has helped us co-create resources, influence policies, and amplify our voice in a space where we were once invisible. National Youth Council in Nepal, a government body under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, create an official space for us in the council and were generous enough to contribute resources for our capacity building and networking. I also remember Chautari Youth Club, a youth create project in Nepal, has empowered care experienced youth through vocational skill-based training opportunities to support for their economic independence. Evidence-based advocacy is the heart of our work. It is our compass. Sign Together starts something bold that few had perhaps imagined. In 2023, just after the 5th BICON in Nepal, we introduced the first ever art advocacy that drew the attentions of over 200 people representing the civil society experts, policy maker, and government. It reminds us that advocacy does not always have to be loud. We are collecting stories that shows what works and what does not, because we believe storytelling is advocacy. These stories are a powerful tool for policy change, and in February this year, Care Experience Youth comes together to mark something Nepal had ever seen before, the first official recognition of Care Away Day initiated by Sign Together. It was more than an achievement, it was a message that we exist. We are not just asking for a change, we are showing how to make it happen. And we are drawing bigger, dreaming bigger. Let me end by sharing with you that Nepal's care reform is still growing. But what makes it promising is that it is being shaped by those who have lived it. We are not waiting to invite it. As someone said it right, if they do not give you a seat, bring your own chair. We are organizing, advocating, and leading. To all of you here, policy makers, experts, and friends, join us. Walk with us. Listen to what we have to say. Let's keep the movement going because every child deserves to try and every voice deserves to lead. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible? Okay, I'm a little bit nervous. Thank you, Varma and Virendra Dai. Now, I'd like to continue the slide by presenting you all the challenges we face in Nepal as a caregiver. But first, let me introduce myself. I almost forgot to introduce myself. So, hi everyone, I am Nisa Chauhan from Nepal. I have a lived care experience of around 12-13 years in Umbrella Organization Nepal. So let's go with the slide. The first point is no reliable unified data for children in and out care. We do not have proper data of the children that grew in an organization, which means we are not even counted as a citizen of the country, which automatically create crises for legal and social identity for this, I myself had gone through a lot of struggle for my legal documentation. I'll share my own experience. In Nepal, when we are in grade 8, we must present our birth certification to attend the final examination of grade 8. But since I am an abandoned child and I did not even know my family name, my mother name, my father name, it was really difficult for us to get the birth certification. And the first thing we had to do was post me on a government newspaper asking asking my family to claim me, not once, but twice. I was in school and I was scared that my teacher, my fellow students would see me in the newspaper. And how would a child of grade 6 or 7 would feel seeing herself in a newspaper asking her parents to claim her, which she knows that they would not. And this was done because it was a legal procedure needed for me to get my birth certification. Did I want it? No. But did I have a choice? No. So after that, it took almost a year for me to get my birth certification. And I thought, oh, I finally have my birth certificate. Now it will be much easier for me to get my citizenship. And when I was in grade 11, I started applying for my citizenship, and I was wrong. It was not easy again. I had to skip classes to go to the district office because the time was scheduled and I could not miss it because it would take longer time. And it took me 9 months, myself engaging to get my citizenship. 9 months, a year, and there are still a lot of legal documentations we need, like bank account, even for passport. And it's not only me that I had to struggle. I am lucky because I got it even with those long wait. But there are still children like me who are still not getting their legal documentations. It is our basic right. Still, we have to go through so much. Do we even deserve to go through so much just to get what our basic human right is? So I don't think I have to highlight other points about the social and legal identities. My story itself is a true message that how a caregivers face a challenge during something so basic as legal and social identity. Moving on to the next point. Because we go through so much, we have mental and emotional hardship as well. Even myself, I feel anxious just thinking about applying for another legal documentation because in my mind, I know that it's going to take longer time than for other people. It's going to cost me the questions I do not want to answer, like what is your mother name? What is your father name? They think it's so common, oh, everyone has it. But no, I don't. And it's not my fault. It's no children's fault that we are being abandoned. And yet we are the one being questioned. So with these issues, we go through stress, anxiety, depression, and some caregivers even commit suicide. Not because they did not want to live, because we have to just face so much. Abandoned by family, not accepted by the society, even the government does not see us. What else we can do? And the next point is, no proper guideline aftercare. In care home, we are lived in a routine, wake up time, eating time, reading time, homework time. And after the care, we are just left with nothing. There is no proper pathway set for higher education, insurance, finance education, employment, and housing. It's like we are pushed off the cliff and expected to fly. And the next point is policy practice disconnection. As I said that we we do not have a proper data. The government does not even see us as we exist. There are so many marginalized groups in Nepal, yet we are not one of them. I mean, the government does not see us as one of the marginalized group that needs extra care and support, which creates more challenges because there is no policy, there is no term as a caregiver in the policy of Nepal. So to continue the slide, I would like to call Binayak Dai. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all the ladies and gentlemen. This is Binayak Manandar, and I am a caregiver from SOS Children Village, and I am leading the caregiver network named as Alternative Care Youth Society, and I'm also leading the network which was registered under the National Youth Council. In 2023, we have officially registered a National Youth Council network that is named Alternative Care Youth Society Network. And thank you, Nisha, for such a great story and such an emotional story that each and every maximum number of all the caregivers face the same, but the nature will be different. So in that case, I am a little bit lucky that I have not go through such an emotional and bonding relationship, torturing problems. So thank you, Nisha. This is not only the Nisha story. This is all the caregivers' stories that we have faced. Now, moving to our slides, we have got maximum number of all the caregivers have the similar kind of challenges that we face. Whether that was India, whether that was Sri Lanka or anywhere. The same. The majority of some of the major challenges that I would like to continue with Nisha. And one of the first is talk about the weak monitoring. From the very beginning, when I was in the care home, we feel that there is no government representative to any policy formation and monitoring regulation, these kind of acting. And now it's been more than 10 years I live here. Still the same problem, but the dimension and the nature was different. Yeah, yes, I don't say there is completely nothing is happening. Yes, happening, but what we want, the level of the happening in the change, positive change, is very low. It will frustrate each and every youth in every generation that we are facing. Yeah, weak monitoring and evaluation care organization. How are caring are done in the children's, and who is responsible for caring the children's in the care home, and is there any minimum criteria or minimum standard of caring? Always the answer no. Who follow up the care? And another one important is who follow those who leave the care. There is nothing, no government recognition, interconnection between the two different organizations in the, being I am a government servant that under the Ministry of Forest and Environment, I didn't see the interconnection between the two different ministries. I think till now I haven't seen, it's been 2 years I have registered the National Youth Council network. There is no coordination between the NCRC and NYC, National Youth Council. That is the very lacking point, that we all have to emerge and we all have to come together for this kind of changes. The stigma and the social reintegration is always as similar. When I was in the care to the integration, I faced the same problems. And still, all the youth are facing the problems. Not only after in the care in the care also they are facing the same problem. During the time of integration, the same problem. After the integration, this will be carry on our whole life. These questions, and we have to answer each and every. These kind of are continue to catching us. And another important is the social protection schemes and the lack of safeguarding. There is, just I said, the protection mechanism, while some of the schemes are existed in a very low number, that will not represent any youths. That is only represent the few numbers. That is a very shame. While some of the scheme exist, most of the caregivers doesn't even know whether I'm capable of that things or that schemes or not. They don't know. So, and many are the simply not designed with the presence of our. The decision are taken by the others. So I would like to all the request, do not delay to take a decision. If you delay, then your decision will be taken by others. And finally, the sum of the very close, my-hearted and absence of training and social works that we always feel. Yesterday, we have heard some of the expertise says that investing in the building the training in the social workforce, I could not completely agree. Yes, there are something is happening. The recent year, I have been an opportunity to participate in the living care project, where the main motto was nobody or never walk alone. The training was in such a way that child in a care experience, and the care practitioners were all together at the same place for the proper guidance for everyone, not for only children. For also we need a guidance for the care practitioners, because they don't know. They look as a bird eye view from the top. But what is in the ground reality, we have to teach them. We have to show them. So this is one of the experience that I particularly enjoy, that one of the trainer comes to me and with a full of tears, thank you, Vinayak, that you have been such a true motivation for us. We haven't seen the children like this way before. It was a true, that gives me, yes, I get where I have to be. This is the one what I want to say, all of you. We gave them a practical tools and the absence of, by using the different competency of frameworks, which is based on the relation, child, and youth care practice. I will never forget the moment sorry, this was the same. And that momentum made me realize how big gap is there between the caregivers, children, and the caregivers and care providers. With the right tools and techniques, it equips them better. We can truly transfer the living care journey for the many of the young peoples. So, yes, there is a challenge, but there is a hope. And that hope grows every time we are bring peoples together to build something, a new community. So I would like, at the last, speak yourself, do yourself, and do not take a delay on making a decision for yourself. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all. This is Nazakat Ali, a caregiver from Pakistan. I spent 14 years of my life in care institution named Pakistan Sweet Home. I am really thankful for Global Foundation of Care Fellows by Experience and SRDO for giving me this opportunity to connect with many care experience fellows by attending BICON. As we know, many of caregivers face common challenges in Asia and across the world. I would also like to highlight some of the challenges. Spending my early life in Sweet Home, which is among the institutions that is providing support to children after leaving care institutions. With the support of Sweet Home, I am currently doing BS degree in multimedia and gaming at Arod University, Sakharsan. However, as the fellows caregiver have mentioned, the caregivers in Pakistan also face these issues after leaving the care institutions. Most care institutions discharge children as they reach to 18 years. No formal program exists to reach life skills and financial literacy. Limited or no access to vocational trainings, issues in getting decent jobs, psychological and emotional challenges, legal and policy gaps. And last, the caregivers face pressure to become economical self-sufficient, while female caregivers also face risk of exploitations, early forced marriages. These were some major issues faced by caregivers. However, there are some good practices as well, which Ms. Ruzwana will share with you. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Rizwana Jabeen from Pakistan, and I'm serving as the coordinator for one of the care leaver networks in Pakistan. So I have the experience, over a decade experience working on child protection and care institution. So, I mean, with that, I have spent some of the time in the hostel, so I actually know how it feels to be away from the family and the challenges faced by the care leavers. So as the Nazakat has mentioned about some of the common challenges the care leaver faced all over the world and in Asia and Pakistan. So we have in Pakistan, we have made some significant we have taken a significant step that has actually addressed some of the key issues that is faced by the care leavers. The provincial and the national government of Pakistan is also working on the care reforms. We are still, we are working on the child protection policies. The care leavers policies are included in it. The national policy has already been passed, and we are also working in the provincial child protection policies. So one of the major milestones that we have achieved, and the major issues we have addressed, that is the identity and legal documentation issue. So starting from the most common issue. So children residing in care institution, they have an issue in obtaining their birth registration certificates and smart card. So we have addressed this issue by the decision of the provincial government initially, and then the Supreme Court of Pakistan has also endorsed this decision. So the children, this practice has significantly helped the institutionalized children to secure their legal identification documents, and the heads of the care institution can register the children and their name can be mentioned in their legal documentation as a guardian. So our NADRA, that is National Database Registration Authority in Pakistan, has this provision for the guardian. So those who have a single, a one parent, they can, the NIC and this smart card can be converted after the 18 years of age with their parents' name, and those who have, those who are orphan and don't have the parents, so they can still continue with the guardian name, and they can have all their legal documents. And this decision came because of some of the cases that happen in Pakistan, and the critical decision has to be made for the children who are living in the care institution. So the next area of focus is the support provided after children leave the care institution. So in this regard, some of the organizations assist orphaned youth by covering educational expenses and providing the hostel facilities. They can live in the hostels after 18 years of the age, including support at the university level. Others continue to offer educational assistance to the children who have been reintegrated with their families, especially the female care leavers. Some organizations are implementing orphan support program that provides long-term educational and livelihood assistance. So the children can be, the care institutions are working for care leaver to support and to get internships and the jobs. These initiatives has actually helped children from care institutions to progress in life and work towards becoming self-sufficient. although a lot has to be done in order to even recognize these care leader networks, so we are still working and we are struggling and working to recognize more this care leader network so they can join us, and collectively we can ask for a right from the provincial and the national government of Pakistan. Thank you. So my apologies, I would like to call Sri Lanka for the next presentation.
Ayubowan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Harita Semasinghe, President of GN Network and care leavers from SOS Children's Village. Currently, I'm working with the government sector. Today, I'm representing BICON Coordination Group, the Reference Group, and the Asian First Care Leaver Network, Generation Never Give Up. Start with the concept of SOS Children's Village, including all care leavers in my countries. We close work with more than 500 care leavers, and with their collective voice, we would like to share these changes in our country. I will start with the good practices, and here you go with this. Next. So, when we talk about good practices and major achievement in alternative care policy, which approved by the Cabinet of Ministers in 2019, the main objective of this policy are to reduce institutionalization of children and to promote reintegration and family-based care. Because of this policy, we have already seen big impact. The number of institutionalized children has gone down from 20,000 in 2005 to 9,000 in 2025. Also, there have been important legal steps. The adoption ordinance is being amended. And the foster care bill is being drafted. The concept paper for foster care has already been approved by the Cabinet. Now I move to the next slide. Now look at some key government initiatives. There are sponsorship programs designed to support families and reduce the need for institutional care. There are also strong support from UNICEF, especially in helping with reintegrations of children with their families and providing advocacy and technical support. Under the judicial collaborations, there have been 6 judicial colloquiums with full participation of magistrates. As a result, magistrates have visited child development centers and recognized institutionalization as last resort. Finally, the Cabinet has approved financial assistance for youth living in institutional care. Each child CDC now received 5,000 rupees, and each care leavers can receive up to 1 million rupees to purchase land or build a house, which is very positive steps. So thank you very much, all of you. Now I would like to hand over to Danushka, who will continue the next slide.
Thank you, Harita. Good morning, everyone. Ayubowan, Vanakkam, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum. I am Danushka Jayaratna, care leaver from SOS, the current president of Generation Never Give Up Network, representing young people who are living alternative care and building independent lives. It's an honor to speak at this BICON gathering, where we unite to amplify the voice of care experience young people. Today I will speak about the challenges faced by care leavers in Sri Lanka and how youth networks like Generation Never Give Up or GNGN are creating hope and change. In Sri Lanka, when a young person turns 18 and leaves children's home or institutional care, the transition is often abroad. For many of them, leaving care does not mean freedom. It means facing the world completely alone. First, legal and policy background. Sri Lanka is currently that has ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of Child. And we have laws such as the Children and Young Person Ordinance, the Adoption of Children's Ordinance, and the National Child Protection Authority Act. However, many of these laws are outdated. For example, the main child protection law was writing in 1939, long before modern child rights principles were introduced. Will this law talk about protection inside care? They say very little about what happens after care. So once child leaves, there's almost no guaranteed support system, no national aftercare policy, no structured transition plan. Second one, main challenges. Let's look at the key challenges faced by Sri Lankan caregivers as shown is chart. First, case management. Most caregivers have no individual care or transition plan. Once they leave the transition, they are so follow up. No one checks whether they have housing, a job, or even food. Second one, legal framework. Our adoption and childcare laws are still based on outdated system. They don't recognize the long-term need of caregivers. Legal identity, inherency, and guardianship are often unclear. Third one, documentation. This is one of the biggest issues. Many children in care never receive a birth certificate or national ID. Without these, they cannot open a bank account, apply for a job, or even sit for national exams. Imagine growing up in your own country but not being recognized as the citizen. That is the reality for many. Fourth one, financial support. Funds allocated for child welfare often do not directly reach the young people who need them. When they leave care, financial assistance stops completely. Many struggle to afford food, rent, or education. Fifth one, post-care support. Aftercare is almost non-existent. There are very few safe housing options and limited opportunities for future education or vocational training. As a result, many young people end up unemployed, socially isolated, or fall into cycle of poverty. Amid these challenges, there is hope, and that GNG runs hope comes from the young people teams live. GNG runs 18 plus resource center which provides care guardians and job counseling, educational support and scholarships, legal advice, mental health and peer support, and 24 hours hotline emergencies. Every child deserves more than survival. They deserve opportunity. If we fail to support caregivers, we fail an entire generation. But when we empower them, when we give them identity, education, and hope, they don't just survive, they thrive. As the name of the Sri Lanka movement reminds us, generation never give up. These young people refuse to surrender their dreams. Our job as adults and as professionals and as allies is not make sure they never have to face the world alone. Our other recommendation we'll share later as collective by our team. Now I hand over to Nimmu for add anything we miss or need to add. Thank you all.
Good morning to you all, and thank you so much, Danshka and Harita, for wonderful presentation. And I'm Nimu from Sri Lanka. You have seen me on. So I just wanted to add a few points very soon because there is more waiting list in our carelivers group. So I just wanted to mention that we are also identified as a first carelivers in Sri Lanka network, and also we are getting support from Ministry and Women and Child in Sri Lanka. And especially I want to highlight, and the good news here, like next time for the BICON, Ministry of Child and Women was already mentioned that they will be support us to attend in any international conference from coming next years, because when Danshka was supposed to come and he wanted to become here, present here, so we were asking from the government, and Minister of Women and Child, she mentioned that we will support from next year because it's just a few days, so they can't be support. But next BICON, they will be definitely support for more care leaves to be wherever it was. And then also Generation Never Give Up Network, also identified as the first network in Sri Lanka, and we are working closely with the government as a collaboration network to work with children who are living in the CCI, and also we are the only one allowed to visit in all the 356 child development centers in Sri Lanka, who are allowed to go inside and do the kind of courage program for the children who live in the Sri Lanka in CCI. And also our main and biggest achievement as a GNG network, as a carelivers, that we were fight with other NGOs that the marital status of parents should be removed from the birth certificate, which is mostly affected for the children who are living in CCI. Because in our birth certificate, we are asking for the marital list of parents. Most of the carelivers, most of the children who are living in CCI, the mention is not. So which affected for the children. So it has been removed since 2021 with this Voice of GNG network people. And also more than 500 carelivers, and we are giving each other support in the GNG network. And also I just want to mention that we are getting support from SOS Children's Village Sri Lanka and many individual NGOs in Sri Lanka for the GNG network running from 2017 to up to now. And I just want to also mention all the GNG members here, because we three are here, but these all are the collective voice from the GNG network. So what is the missing part? I still want like the ending of the court cases of children who are living in CCI, because by myself, I went more than 8 years in my court case. I appeared in a court case. I was in the prison. I was appearing in the court more than 8 years. And some children who are now more than 35 years, still they are appearing in the court. When they were in child, they were in the court, but still they are appear. So I just want to Sri Lanka to strict and just finish all the court cases when they are in CCI, not when they come out, because it's really suffer when even they got 35 or so 40 years. And so I just want to add these points. So, and also I just want to mention that all of you guys here, when you turn out to 15 years, you may dream for your 16th birthday. But when we turn out to 15 years, we are thinking where we will go. So that's the difference. Because we don't dream about our next birth, we are afraid of our 18th of birth year, because we know that we want to go out. So that's the difference between us. So I want to end like saying this, that the greatest gift of human being is that we have power of empathy. We can all sense a piece of each other experience. So I know that we will not get any chance to say thank you, so I just want to thank you for each and everyone who are the members of BICON organizing committee, and especially Nolan, Tessa, Mark, Anjali, and also Kiran Ma'am, and all the organizing committee who were really supportive for us entire day, and also money also here. So I want to thank for each and everyone. Because we all caregivers has been here because of your support. And I just wanted to end this saying, we are not here to get the sympathy of you. We are here to be a voice for the voiceless. So thank you all, and let's make their future today and world without orphanage. Let's dream world without orphanage. Thank you, and I just wanted to hand over to Thailand.
Good morning, everyone. Greetings from Vietnam. Xin chào, everyone. I'm shaking because of the AC, I think. Yeah. So pardon me for that. Well, this is the first time Vietnam is joining as a voice in the BICON conference, and it's my great honor today to, yes, thank you, to share my story and my country's journey on this regional platform. So I would like to start by saying that more than basic care, children need love and belonging for their emotional and social development. And today I want to share some good practices in Vietnam that have made this possible for many children like me. So a little bit about the context of alternative care in Vietnam. So Vietnam has about 26 million children, and among them, many hundreds of thousands of children are living under difficult circumstances. Like maybe they lost the parents, or they have to suffer violence and some problems due to migration. And the care in Vietnam come into the main three categories. Kinship care, which is most common and very common in the rural areas. Second is the institutional care, like the institution like the SOS village and shelters. And the third is foster care, which is developing in my country. So first, I would like to talk about some good practices. Next slide, please. Well, so in Vietnam, there is a strong commitment to child protection and family-based care. The law on children 2016 emphasized that under no circumstances the children should be separated from their original family unless some emergency cases. So the government, together with the private care organization, invests in empowering children and young people, not just through basic services, but also through opportunities like the skill development, the training, and the living care support programs, which give the young people a real chance to stand on their feet. And secondly, Vietnam provides a safe and supportive care environment. When the children face urgent situations, they can find shelter and stability, sometimes for a few months, and for some, it becomes their long-term home, like me. And I'm very lucky to have my SOS family. They always support me. I have a loving mother and loving siblings, and all the uncles and aunts are my family. And I'm very proud to say that I'm from SOS, and all the mothers, siblings, aunts, and uncles in the village are my big family. And they are the reason that I'm standing here today, confidently speaking in your own people. In Vietnam, we have a saying like this: blood is thicker than water. You know what it means, right? It means like the people who are related to you by blood is more important. Well, that belief is deeply rooted in our culture, but nowadays people are more open-minded, and they start seeing caring for others as a part of humanity, as a compassion. And compassion is the tradition of our country, the country that goes through a lot of pains in the wars in the past. So we understand humans' pains. And thirdly, young people are supported with a lot of development opportunities. Education goes beyond classroom, and we have access to vocational training, life skill, and practical knowledge to help us build our future with confidence. And in our education, there's a good practice that they include the teaching about the children's right for children, so that they know that how they are supported by everyone and how they can speak up for themselves when something doesn't feel right to them. And finally, we are seeing in Vietnam, we are seeing more multi-stakeholder partnerships, like between the government and private sector and corporate partners. They provide training, mentorship, internship opportunities for vulnerable young people. And I've been a part of such a meaningful program. I've joined the iLead program, which teach me a lot about the values about growth, commitment, responsibility, self-worth, and many others, and it helps strengthening my leadership skill. However, there are also many challenges that young people in my country keep facing. Next slide, please. Yeah, first, one major challenge is the inconsistent monitoring and evaluation of alternative care. The system is not the same across the provinces, and it creates a gap in quality and accountability. And another challenge is the ethical use of social media. Well, as a young person, I see social media as an opportunity to grow. And I'm currently planning to start my online business using my social media channel. So, thank you. Would you support me with a subscribe, please? Thank you, I appreciate that, and I will do a returning favor by welcoming you to Vietnam one day. So if anyone is coming to Vietnam, you can contact me. Well, quick advertisement for my country. I love my country. Okay, so I see it as opportunities, but it's not the same for other young people who is not well aware about it. Many young people are exposed to the risks on social media, like exploitation, misinformation, or sometimes cyberbullying. And the next I want to talk about is the issue of the overburdened and underprepared caregivers. So you heard Vinayak from Nepal. He said about the program Living Care, Never Walk Alone. Well, that is the good initiative for people, for both young people and caregivers for the transition. Well, but we also must not forget that our caregiver, the core of the care system, they also need support. Sometimes they are overworked and stretched beyond their limits. If they are not physically and mentally well, how can they give us, the children, the support we need? So that's why I believe that it's important to create the space for comprehensive caregiver training and well-being programs. They must be prepared mentally for what they are going to face when taking care of those children. And they need the right tools and knowledge and emotional support so that they can care us better. And the last point I want to say is the living care is a process. It's not an event. It's not like I'm walking out of the institution and I become like away and not supported anymore. So young people need the step-by-step support during the transition, so that and not to be asked to leave immediately. Well, in many cases, this support is missing, and the supervised independent living options are rarely available. And this makes the transition abrupt and often overwhelming. Good practices give us hope, but challenges, we need to address the gaps. And every child deserves not just shelter, but also love and belongings and opportunities to grow. And every caregiver deserves the support to care the children well. And every one of us here have the power to make that happen. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Justine and Juno to talk about our joint recommendation.
You are a good soldier choosing your battles. You are on the front line, everyone's watching. You know it's serious, we are getting closer, this isn't over. When you fall, get up. Oh, oh. If you fall, get up. Yeah, yeah. Actually, it is a song. I inspired these lines. I want to quote it here. I tried to sing, but the rhythm is not coming, so I just read it. Actually, it is a great song, and it is related to for the caregivers. This is Justine, Albert Justine. You can call me Justine. I'm a care experienced youth working with the Miracle Foundation India in youth program. I want to start with a quote. We know we can't change any caregiver's past, but our initiative will change their future. Because from our experiences, we are sharing here to change their future initiatives. The problems which we faced, that should not happen to the upcoming caregivers. So the recommendations we have added, we have consolidated all 8 countries, and now we are just going through it because we have given very limited time. We have to increase the number of capacity building for the social workers because the policy can be made by the government, by the CSOs, by everyone. But when it is coming to the implementation part, social workers are playing a very vital role. They are the frontline workers. When they are going to the field, when the paper is giving different idea, but field is giving different experience. Because I worked in the district program for the 1 year, what is given in the table, what is given in the paper is entirely different when we are seeing that ground, when we are seeing the family, when we are working with the CSOs, when we are working with the government. So, problems are emerging day by day. When we are solving one problem, another problem is arising in a family. Because when we are supporting a caregiver's education, suddenly there is a death in that family. They are again in the crisis. We have to support the food, ration support. So like that, every time the problems are changing. Based on that, the CSOs, that other organizations, those are all working in the youth sector, they have to collaborate 6 months once or yearly once to exchange ideas, to get more understanding from the different parts of the country so that they can create holistic program for the youth. So the next one, we have to build the networks because most of the organizations are working in the towns or metropolitan cities. But the villages, the remote areas are left out. Because I am also in the village and some of our caregivers, I know they are also from the mountains, hill areas, tribal places. They are not getting even the basic support, education support. They can provide education support when they are coming to the cities. But cities, they can provide only education. Then what about the accommodation? That is a problem. So if there is a facilities in their local area itself, that will be a good option for them to be with their community, not detaching from their community. So remote places needs to be concentrated. Then don't forget about the emotional and psychosocial support because we are all adult, we are all grown up. I am a 32-year-old, but like me, I am saying that in collective manner. When your friends, when you are studying in a college, when you are just started your work, when your friends are saying that you are so cunning, you are so mindful about your money, because that money, even it is 10,000, 15,000 or 20,000, that money is very precious for their basic needs, to fulfill their basic needs. But you may face that, your friends may say that you are so cunning, you are not spending money, you are not coming with us for the movies, outing, for the party. But that's not easy for us to cope up that peer pressure. Okay, so that is, we have to support emotionally the psychosocial support as well. There should be a emergency network immediately connecting. And loneliness is the severe problem nowadays. Because, and this is a festival season, Diwali, and next then Dasara, everything came. Next New Year's, like that, many festivals coming. That time, sir, I'll be taking very little time. So, when we have a family, they will be joining with the family. But when we are left alone, full of loneliness, festival, nearby person, just behind the next door, they will be celebrating lot, but we will be left alone. How many hours we can spend with a social network? The TV. So, we have to concentrate on their PSS support as well. Then life skill educations and vocational training. Many of us having degree, masters in social work, masters in science, masters in arts, but the company which need that essential skills, we are lacking that. We have studied, we have educated what is given in the institution, in that educational institution, but the company needs different from that education, that courses. So that additional supports, additional job readiness skills need to be added. Then regarding financial and digital literacy, how to handle the money is very important. As I mentioned, when peer pressure is coming, we are forced to spend unwanted money in unwanted places, for the party, for the outing, for something else. Everyone should be taught clearly about the budgeting, how to manage their monthly expenses, how to save, how to allocate money for the healthcare services. Like that, they should be taught prior to the living care. Then we should be adding adequate aftercare services, housing, education, employment assistance. Then gender sensitivity need to be added, because boys, girls, then disability persons having different issues. So that should be addressed, and there should be individual plan for them. Then guarantee safe transition, that should not fear for 18. Everyone should not fear for 18. Leaving care should be planned step by step. After they are reaching the age of 17, 1 year they can be in the preparation places, so that they can know the society very well. So that is very important. Then the final point, very important point, we have to prioritize family-based care other than institutional care. First, we have to promote the kinship care, foster care, because kinship care have at least anyone relationship bonding, blood relation may be there. So they can give extra care when they are supporting the caregivers. So now, due to time constraints, just to play a video, only 30 seconds. Sorry for taking more time.
நல்லதாண்டா கட்டிக்கிறானுங்க. ஏய் ருகோ என்னடா இது? பேட்ச் ஒர்க்கா? டேய் என்னடா கட்டி வச்சுக்கிறீங்க? தொட்டாலே தூளாகுது. पागल है क्या? बोला ना तुमको पैच वर्क. இன்னும் எவ்வளோ பேட்ச் ஒர்க் வச்சிருக்கீங்க? पूरा बुक पैच वर्क का ही है. पूरा बुक का?
Thank you for the video. Actually, when we are building a program, when we are planning very well, we will avoid the patchwork. So, that patchwork, social workers are struggling with the patchwork. Because of inadequate preparation with the caregivers, like that person, social workers are struggling a lot, because when they are solving one problem, next problem is arising. Another problem is arising. So when we are planning in very well, we can avoid the patchwork, that even though if we are doing the best patchwork, that is leaving mark in the building. That should not happen. With this, I invite Juno. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Justin Anna. Hello, everyone. My name is Junu Lama. I'm from Nepal and co-founder of Shine Together, also a member of Care Liver Reference Group, BICON. As we all know, one alone cannot do all the work. It is equally important for government to join hands with civil society and us. Here are some of our recommendations to government. Ensure legal identity support. Government must guarantee that all care experienced children and young people have access to legal documents so that we can have access to every essential services without any barriers and without having to answer every time the same questions. Next, develop clear policies and allocate budget for care experienced young people. Establish specific, uniform, national level policies for care experienced youths to have clear understanding on after 18 what's next. Allocate adequate, sustained budget for long-term support to care experienced, including aftercare services during transition of care experienced children to adulthood. Strengthen social protection schemes. Implement and expand social protection schemes that covers aftercare services like education, health insurance, housing, and other basic trainings, so that care experienced can become self-reliant and as a safety net during their transition. Provide disability-inclusive care during and after care. Ensure inclusive, accessible, and equitable care for children and youth with disabilities. Inclusion must extend beyond care to ensure we can live with dignity and access to essential services. Next, government reservations. Introduce employment reservation or affirmative actions policies for care experienced youth in government jobs and skill development schemes, as many of us leave care without networks or financial stability. Job reservation will slowly lead us to economic independence. Research and data collection on care experienced. Strengthen the collection and use of data on care experienced children and youth to inform evidence-based policy. To understand the needs, challenges, and long-term outcomes of care experienced, to shape better policies, funding, and allocate services that reflects real lived realities. Monitor and evaluate aftercare implementation. Set up clear national standards and independent mechanism to monitor and evaluate aftercare services. Ensure they are available, accessible, and effective in supporting care experience, so there won't be a situation where we have to choose between our survivor or either education. Strengthen monitoring on childcare homes or institutional care. Mandate strict and frequent inspections on childcare homes to prevent abuse, ensure safe and right-based, and hold accountable to national standards of operations. Family strengthening programs. Prioritize program that supports families to prevent unnecessary separations and reduce the number of children entering into childcare homes due to preventable family breakdowns and multiple reasons. Last but not the least, it is high time that we shift consultation from co-partners and co-leaders, as we all have been saying from yesterday that care leavers, care experienced young individuals are the evidence in themselves and are the experts in what they need for change. This is not just our recommendations, but also a change that we are jointly looking for and voices on which this momentum is built. Yesterday, as mentioned by Dr. Rin Chen, every recommendation should be monitored. These are what we need to feel safe, supported, seen, and heard. These are not just our good suggestions or recommendations. And we are not just care experienced, we are experts in what needs to change. So let's rise together. Rise. In the dark dwell of dreams where hopes are burned. Awake young hearts to a new world, new paths are worn, where young hearts are sparked and paint the world with bright colors. Rise up from shadows, cast aside a doubt, let your voice be clear, let your spirit shout. And the story is waiting to be told, to spark the chains and touch the skies. The wind of changes are calling loud. To believe in every strength you hold when shadow falls and trails loom. Remember, stars are born from gloom. With every word, every steps, you crave the way. The future is yours, it's never away. Your courage light the way. Fight the challenge and seize the day. So let your spirit roar. For every dream, there is always more. Under the skies of endless blue, the world awaits just for you, just for us. Thank you. With this poem, I would like to dedicate this poem to all the care experienced friends present here and those care experienced children who are still residing in care, and all the individuals present here who are passionately and sincerely working for the change we all are looking for. Thank you so much. And I would like to hand over this floor to Mr. Sankar. Thank you.
Thank you all my family care experience. Meanwhile, I would like to request all of you, please scan these after the presentation. What comes to your mind when you hear the word care leaver or a care experience? Meanwhile, you answering it, I would like to invite all my family members, all the care experience on the stage. Kindly come. On the stage, on the stage. Come, come. No, no, no. That is already visible. So I could see there are a lot of new words. It's generating, like the perspective hasn't changed and a lot of things are happening. So I would like to switch to the second questions. What do you see a care leaver in future as a care leaver? Please, Kane, you will be getting a chance to click a picture. Meanwhile, I would like you to answer this. Please engage here. Please engage here. I request everyone to please engage here. We will be here only. How do you see us in future? I would like to request you to wait here only. Can we present third? Third. Okay, so before we do that, there is one thing I would like to share to all of you. The Care Experience family has decided this. Like, we do a lot of conferences, international, nationals, but we stay with ourselves. The experience stays with ourselves only, to you, to the people who are representing. But we want to take this experience to the local care leavers. So we would request you to write it down, what message you would like to convey to the care leavers in local. So we will take your messages and let the BICON continue till the ground. So I would request all of you, you have a note, pen with you, write a message would like to convey to the care leavers, to the local, which we will take with us in our country and we're going to give. That you can hand over to us anytime. There is a beautiful thing that I would like to share. I know before that one slide, you guys have shared what you see a care leaver in future. You have a lot of people have told, you see us as an inspiration, leader, and resilience, knowledgeable person. But I would like to convey to you on one of the recommendation, because I believe, because of like being a care experience person, as a care experience person, we rose from our life, but because of you, we are going to shine, and we are shining it. So you are a very important person. So it's very important that you are working with us. So we would like to convey to you, when you see a care leaver, tell them to become a better person, rather than become a powerful person, doctor or engineer or anything. Tell them, teach them to become a better person, and then better citizen of their own country. And then you can tell them to become a doctor, policeman, powerful people, money, or rich guy. So this is something. So thank you everyone for your time, and have a lovely day. I would like to hand over to Gemma.
Hi everybody. I think, can we all say a huge thank you to the Care Experience Reference Group for their really engaging presentation this morning. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your views, and most crucially your recommendations, which will form the basis of the declaration from BICON this year. So I think one final massive round of applause for their huge input in today. So in a minute, we're going to have a 10-minute break, and after that, we're going to come back, and I'll be handing over to Dr. Kieran Moody. And I think before that, Sue-Ann wanted to make a quick announcement. So we've got a 10-minute break after this, and please can everyone come back at 5 to 11. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gemma. So a really quick announcement following Anderson of Suka Society's presentation yesterday on in the Stories of Innovation about their foster care manuals. They have very kindly offered to provide some copies of these in English. If anyone is interested or if it would be of interest to you, we will have them at the registration desk after lunch. I'd also like to invite any other organizations here who have some resources that they would like to share. You can also please feel free to share it with us, and we can place them at the registration desk too for all participants. Thank you very much.